It was 3:33 in the morning, the kind of time where even silence feels heavy. I was lying in bed, alone, thinking it was just the wind, until I heard it. 3 soft, deliberate knocks on my front door, just 3. Slow, measured, and in that moment, my heart froze. I didn't know who or what could be outside, and I knew one thing for sure. I should never, ever open that door. The night was darker than usual, the kind of darkness that seemed to swallow the edges of my bedroom, and every shadow felt alive. My house was silent, but the silence was heavy, almost suffocating, broken only by the occasional gust of wind rattling the window panes and sending shivers down my spine. The lights flickered unpredictably, casting brief, twisted shadows that danced across the walls, making the familiar corners of my room feel strange and threatening. Outside, the trees swayed, their branches scratching against the siding like skeletal fingers. And somewhere in the distance, a dog barked once, sharply, as if warning me. I tried to tell myself it was nothing, just the ordinary sounds of a quiet night. But deep down, I knew it wasn't normal. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind, every flicker of the bulb made my heart pound faster. I could feel my skin prickling, my muscles tensing, as if the house itself was holding its breath. And then I remembered the knocks. The 3 deliberate knocks I had heard moments ago, slow and measured, echoing through the stillness, and a chill ran straight through me. I was alone, completely alone, and yet I couldn't shake the feeling that something or someone was out there, just beyond the door, watching, waiting, patient and silent, until I made the mistake of opening it. The knocks came again, this time softer at first, almost polite but unmistakably deliberate, echoing through the dark hallway. I froze, my chest tightening, unsure if I should move or stay buried under the blankets, every instinct screaming at me to ignore it. My mind raced. Was it just some prank, the wind causing something to bang against the door? Or worse, something that shouldn't exist in the quiet of my home? Each knock grew louder, firmer, more insistent, like a rhythm meant to unnerve me, and my curiosity battled with sheer terror. Part of me wanted to see, to face whatever it was, while the other part screamed at me to stay put, to hide, to pretend I wasn't even there. My fingers twitched, heart hammering against my ribs, and a cold sweat spread across my skin as the silence between the knocks became almost unbearable, stretching out like a warning that I couldn't ignore. And still, that voice inside me whispered, "Don't open it. Don't even think about opening it." But I couldn't stop wondering what or who was waiting on the other side. The knocking didn't stop. It kept coming, slow and methodical, echoing through the empty house. And with each repetition, the air felt heavier, colder, as if the darkness itself was pressing down on me. The lights flickered violently, throwing the room into near total blackness. And every time they blinked back on, the shadows seemed different, stretching longer, twisting into shapes that shouldn't exist. The door at the end of the hallway creaked open just a fraction, a whisper of movement that made my blood run cold, and I swore I could see a silhouette standing just beyond it, dark and still, watching. My eyes darted to the clock. The numbers glowed 3:33 a.m., but then they seemed to jump, stutter, like the time itself was broken, mocking me, teasing me with some impossible rhythm. My phone buzzed on the nightstand, but when I reached for it, the screen flashed static, then went black, as if it refused to reveal the truth. I could hear the wind whispering outside, but inside, there were noises I couldn't explain. Footsteps that weren't mine, scratching along the walls, a soft breath in the hallway, too close to ignore. The shadows moved again, faster now, darting along corners, crawling across the floor, and I felt a presence behind me, heavy and silent, waiting. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but my legs refused to obey. My heart pounded so loudly I was sure the entity could hear it, counting the beats, measuring my fear. The knocks came again, louder this time, shaking the doorframe, each one a warning and a promise. I wanted to scream, wanted to run, wanted to disappear. But my voice was gone, my body frozen, trapped in a nightmare that felt all too real. And then, just as suddenly as it began, everything stopped. The knocking, the footsteps, the whispers, the flickering lights, and a suffocating silence took its place, thicker than the darkness, leaving me alone with the unshakable certainty that whatever was waiting outside wasn't gone. It was only patient, waiting for the next mistake. I couldn't take it anymore. My curiosity, my fear, every nerve screaming at me to stop. Yet I found myself standing, moving toward the door as if some invisible force was pulling me. My hand hovered over the cold doorknob, trembling so badly I thought it might slip through my fingers. And the knocking began again, this time right behind me, echoing in my skull rather than through the wood. I slowly turned the knob, each turn sounding impossibly loud in the suffocating silence. And the door creaked open, just a sliver, enough for a shadow to spill into the dim hallway. And then I saw it, no face, no clear shape, just darkness darker than anything I had ever seen, moving unnaturally, twisting, stretching, and the air itself felt heavy, pressing against my chest like it wanted to push me back. I froze, my breath caught in my throat, every heartbeat deafening in my ears. And I could hear it, not walk, not running, but gliding, sliding across the floor, closer and closer, impossibly fast yet silent. A soft whisper came from the darkness, chilling me deeper than the cold air ever could, calling my name, knowing me, mocking me, and I felt my knees buckle, my stomach drop, my body screaming to run while my mind couldn't move. I wanted to close the door, slam it shut, hide forever. But before I could, the shadow surged forward, reaching impossibly far, stretching toward me like black smoke with hands. And I gasped, a sound swallowed by the crushing silence, every second stretching out, endless, as if time itself had stopped. And then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the shadow recoiled, vanishing into the darkness, leaving only the door slightly ajar, the faint echo of the whispers in my ears, and a bone-deep certainty that it wasn't gone. It was only waiting, patient and hungry, for the next time I thought I could be brave enough to open that door. I backed away from the door, every muscle frozen, my heart hammering like a drum in my chest. The door creaked shut on its own, slow, deliberate, as if deciding I had seen too much already. Silence filled the room, heavy and suffocating, but then I noticed something impossible. The shadow wasn't gone. It lingered in the corner, stretching unnaturally toward me, pulsing like it was breathing. My phone lit up with a notification, and when I glanced at it, the screen flashed a photo I didn't take, my own bedroom, empty, except for the dark figure standing right behind me. I spun around, but nothing was there, only the oppressive darkness pressing closer. That's when I realized the truth, chilling me to my core. It hadn't been outside at all. It had been in the house the whole time, hiding, watching, learning. And as I huddled in my bed, paralyzed, I heard the faintest knock. Not at the door, but from the floor beneath me. 3 slow taps. 3:33 a.m. again. It was coming back tonight. As I finally forced myself to sit up, trembling and drenched in sweat, the shadows seemed to stretch even longer, reaching into the corners of the room, and the faint echo of knocking still lingered in my ears. Impossible to shake. I couldn't stop thinking about what might happen the next night or the night after that. So I have to ask you, what would you do if it happened to you? Would you open the door at 3:33 a.m. or hide forever, hoping it never finds you? Just remember, whatever you decide, some doors are meant to stay closed.